Most people don't realize that something as ordinary as where you leave a bowl of water can quietly change the way your home feels. Not because of magic, not because of superstition, but because every object in your space, especially water, interacts with the energy of your daily life in ways you may not see until you feel it. Maybe you've noticed it. The nights you can't fall asleep even though you're exhausted. The air in your bedroom feels heavier. Your mind won't quiet down. Or maybe it's a different kind of tension, unspoken, lingering, especially after dinner when the house should feel calm. You try to brush it off, but deep down you sense something's off. In many homes, the answer isn't always big or dramatic. Sometimes it's a glass of water left by the bed, a humidifier by the window, a plant pot quietly leaking under the stairs. These seem harmless, but in the wrong spots. They create pockets of stillness where energy stops moving, and when energy stalls, so does peace. It's not about fear, it's about flow. A home with good energy feels like a deep breath. A home with blocked energy feels like holding it in without realizing. And while you may not be haunted, your home can still hold on to tension, to restlessness, to moods that settle in like unwanted guests. This isn't about decorating differently. It's about being more aware of what you're unconsciously inviting in. In today's video, I'll walk you through the 3 most common places people leave water, without knowing they are disrupting the energy of the entire house. And I'll show you how just a few small shifts can bring clarity, calm, and a deeper sense of lightness back into your space. Let's begin. Part 1, bedroom, where water doesn't belong. Your bedroom is where the world finally goes quiet. It's the one place meant to hold your rest, your stillness, your breath at its softest. That's why this part may surprise you. Water, something we usually associate with calm, can actually disturb that stillness if it's placed in the wrong spot. Not symbolically, not spiritually, but energetically, physically, emotionally. Let's talk about that. Think back to a night when you were truly, deeply rested, when you woke up feeling light. Now think of the nights that felt the opposite. Your eyes shut, but your mind kept circling. The air in the room was still, yet something about it felt off. Maybe your dreams were restless. Maybe you woke up tired, a tightness across your chest that coffee couldn't shake. Sometimes we assume it's stress, hormones, age, and yes, those are real. But the space you sleep in plays a role too, often a bigger one than you think. In many homes, especially today, we bring all kinds of items into our bedrooms that weren't there 20 years ago. Diffusers, humidifiers, small fountains, mini aquariums, water bottles that stay by the bedside for days. We bring in moisture thinking it adds comfort. But in a room that's supposed to hold quiet, steady energy, these objects introduce motion. Water is never fully still. It moves, it evaporates, it cycles, even when we don't see it. That constant micro-movement, combined with the natural sensitivity of the bedroom, creates a kind of background noise in the energy field of the space. Your body may not register it consciously, but it feels it. Over time, it responds. We think of water as soothing because of what it represents in nature. A river, a bath, the ocean, but those are active spaces. Water isn't neutral. It holds memory, reflects light, magnifies feeling. That's what makes it beautiful. But that's also why it doesn't always belong in a room where your only task is to let go. Some clients have told me, "I love the sound of water. I fall asleep better with it." And that may be true for a few nights. But what often follows weeks later is something they didn't expect. Vivid dreams, emotional tension, sleep that feels shallow. Not nightmares exactly, but a sense that sleep isn't restful. The brain stays too alert. The heart doesn't settle. And even when the body is still, the energy isn't. This isn't superstition, it's sensory. Water amplifies what's around it. If your mind is racing, it doesn't calm you. It carries those thoughts further. If your emotions are turbulent, water reflects and extends them. In a living room, that can be useful. It keeps energy flowing. In a bedroom, it overextends. It swirls where it should sink. Let's talk about placement. The most common spot people keep water is beside the bed, either in a glass or in a sealed bottle. That seems harmless. It's a practical habit. But what's harmless for the body isn't always harmless for the room. That glass sits open overnight, drawing in dust, subtle moisture, and yes, holding onto emotional residue. Water doesn't stay empty, it absorbs. That's part of its nature. And when it's sitting inches from your sleeping body, it starts to hold the weight of your dreams, your unrest, your quiet fears. Now imagine adding a humidifier, or a bubbling fountain, or a fish tank. These aren't just static objects, they bring in motion, sound, light, reflection. They may look peaceful, but the energy they create is very much alive, and that movement keeps the bedroom from doing its true job, restoration. And here's the piece most people never think about. Bedrooms aren't just where we sleep. They're where we release. All day long we take in the world. At night we let it go. Emotionally, energetically. A good night's rest is a kind of detox. And if there's an object in the room that holds on to things, especially water, then what we're trying to let go of has nowhere to go. It circles back. It lingers. We don't move forward. There's a reason older homes didn't have fountains in bedrooms. A reason hotel rooms rarely include aquariums or water features. There's a quiet understanding that water belongs in spaces where energy is meant to move. Entryways, kitchens, outdoor patios, but not in the place where your soul is trying to settle. None of this means you need to fear water. It's still one of the most powerful, life-giving elements we have. But with power comes responsibility, and placing it with intention is the difference between creating peace and accidentally disturbing it. If you truly love the presence of water, there are softer ways to invite its essence without inviting its movement. A still photograph of a lake, a painting of a lotus pond, a bowl of smooth river stones. These evoke water's presence without its motion. They remind your body of calm without disrupting the energetic stillness your sleep needs. And if you're someone who uses humidifiers for health, that's valid too. But consider timing. Let them run before bed, then switch them off. Place them farther from the bed. Keep them clean. Treat them like tools, not furniture. Be mindful that they are helping your breath, not holding your dreams. Because here's the truth, when we sleep, we're not just resting the body. We're renewing the spirit. And anything that gets in the way of that, even something as simple as a half-filled cup of water, deserves a second look. The bedroom doesn't ask for much. Just quiet, clean air, gentle light, and a feeling of safety that's hard to name but easy to lose. Don't let your sleep be a place where energy swirls instead of settles. Don't let rest become another place where motion wins over stillness. Before you sleep tonight, look around. What's on your nightstand? What's under your bed? What holds water that might also be holding something else? Let go of what doesn't help you let go. That's where deeper rest begins. Part 2, Under the Stairs, where energy gets stuck. There's a place in nearly every home that seems forgotten, tucked away, rarely discussed, but often filled. Not with meaning, but with things, the space under the stairs. At first glance, it's harmless, a quiet spot, out of the way, useful, which is exactly why we fill it without a second thought. A bucket here, a bin there. Maybe the vacuum, a pile of old shoes, a plant that no longer thrives but hasn't been thrown out. But what feels like convenience can quietly become a trap, not just for clutter, but for energy. For weight you didn't realize was dragging you down. Every home has its breathing spaces, places where energy flows, where air moves freely, where light touches corners. And then there are places where everything stops, where motion stiffens, light fades, and the atmosphere takes on a kind of stillness that's not peaceful, but stuck. The area beneath your staircase is one of the most common of these. It's naturally compressed, often dark, poorly ventilated, and because of that, it becomes a magnet for energetic stagnation. When you place water here, whether it's a mop bucket, a wet umbrella, a plant pot that leaks, or cleaning supplies with moisture, you don't just store objects, you feed that stagnation. This isn't about superstition, it's about how energy behaves in space. In nature, water flows. It's meant to move, to carry, to cleanse. But when placed in a tight, low space with no air, it sits. It turns. And energetically, it ferments. That moisture doesn't refresh, it collects. Not just physically, but emotionally. The space becomes heavier, thicker. People who live in homes where this area is overly packed often describe something subtle but real. Arguments over small things, a constant feeling of being tired even after a full night's sleep. Tension that creeps in without cause. It doesn't feel dramatic, just heavy, as if something in the house refuses to exhale. You might be wondering, why would something as small as a bucket or plant matter? Because in energy, nothing is small. What you ignore, the space absorbs. What you push aside, the house holds. Water, in particular, acts like a messenger. It reflects and multiplies the energy of wherever it's placed. When you tuck it into a dead zone under the stairs, it doesn't just sit quietly. It amplifies that stuckness. And that affects you, not in loud ways, but in the undercurrents of how you feel, move, and relate at home. Let's be practical. We all need storage. The area under the stairs often feels like free real estate. But the key isn't avoiding use, it's choosing wisely. Store what's neutral, stable, light in energy. Think wood, fabric, baskets. Avoid moisture. Avoid plastic bins with hidden liquids, and avoid anything broken or forgotten. Because once you forget about it, it stays stuck in more than one way. I've walked into beautiful homes where everything looks clean until you pass the staircase. You feel it in your chest, a tightness, a low hum, not scary, just off. And when we open the storage space, there it is, water bottles, mildew, old mops, a wilted plant still sitting in its pot from last season. It's not about being messy. It's about not knowing that space holds memory too. There's a powerful metaphor here. The staircase is meant to elevate. It takes us upward. Symbolically, it connects levels, groundedness with vision, daily life with rest. But when what's beneath it becomes a holding tank for stale energy, it pulls the whole house downward. Your upward movement, your clarity, your joy has to fight harder to rise. And often we don't even realize we're carrying that weight. Here's what I tell people who feel stuck in their homes, who say, "I'm tired all the time," or "The house feels off, but I don't know why." I ask one question: what's under your stairs? Most of the time they pause, they don't remember. That's the first sign. A part of your home you've forgotten is usually a part of yourself that's waiting to breathe again. If there's moisture there, clear it out. If you can, open that space once a week. Let light in. Even a small lamp or motion sensor bulb helps break the pattern of stagnation. If you must store something, make it intentional. Not, "I didn't know where else to put it, but I want this here and I know it serves a purpose." Your home responds to care, not just cleaning, and care begins with noticing what you've overlooked. Sometimes people ask, is this really about water or is it about something deeper? The truth is both. Water is just the form, the habit of ignoring what we can't see, that's the pattern. And patterns shape energy. Energy shapes how we feel, that's the loop. You don't need to redesign your home. You don't need to remove the stairs. All you need is to treat the space beneath them as part of your home's breath. Not its basement, not its dumping ground, but a living corner that holds memory, motion, and mood. Let it be clear, let it be dry, let it be respected. Because when you free that space, you'll often feel it before you understand it. A little more ease in your morning, a little less weight in your chest. A home that feels like it finally exhaled and invited you to do the same. Look under your stairs today, not with guilt, but with a new kind of awareness. Because clearing what's hidden often clears more than just space. It clears the way for you to rise again. Part 3, near the stove or on the fridge. Fire loses its voice. The kitchen is more than a place where meals are made. In many homes, it's where mornings begin, where family conversations echo, where memories are stirred alongside soup. It holds the warmth of tradition, connection, and nourishment. But what many don't realize is that this space carries a deeper kind of energy, one that thrives on balance, especially between fire and water. And when that balance is quietly disrupted, the whole house feels it. In almost every home, there's a habit we pick up without thinking, placing water near the stove or on top of the fridge. It's practical, convenient. A water filter next to the oven, a jug on the refrigerator, a bowl for rinsing vegetables that sits too close to the burner. It doesn't look wrong, it doesn't feel alarming, but over time, this small clash creates a subtle friction in the energy of your kitchen, and that friction begins to show up in unexpected ways. Fire in any form represents warmth, life force, presence. It's active. It brings people together. It symbolizes the heart of the home. Water, on the other hand, is fluid, cool, reflective. On its own, it's calming. But placed too close to fire, it doesn't balance. It interferes. The fridge, although electric, generates warmth inside the kitchen ecosystem. The stove, of course, is the literal flame. And when water is placed directly above or beside either of these without any buffer, it becomes a silent contradiction in the space. The kitchen starts to lose its voice, not literally, but emotionally. People report subtle signs. The kitchen doesn't feel joyful. Meals feel rushed. The person who cooks, often the mother, wife, or caregiver, feels easily drained, irritable, or disconnected. Conversations once held over chopping boards become shorter. Family meals feel more like tasks than rituals. And over time, something quiet but important fades from the space. Togetherness. In energetic terms, this isn't about superstition, it's about element mismatch. When fire and water sit too close without intention, they create emotional static. Like two people with opposing natures forced to share a room. They don't explode, but the atmosphere becomes tense, charged. And in a kitchen where emotions simmer just like sauces, that static leaks into the energy of the food, the people, the moment. There's also a more physical dimension. Water near heat creates humidity. If left unchecked, this affects air quality, creates damp surfaces, and in some cases leads to mold, especially behind appliances. The body responds to this as low-grade stress, fatigue, headaches, even minor respiratory issues. But emotionally, it registers as something simpler, feeling off, rushed, unsettled, even in your own kitchen. And here's the most overlooked truth. The kitchen often reflects the emotional health of a household, especially its women. If the kitchen is warm, clean, open, the energy of the home feels held. But if it's conflicted, if fire can't speak because water keeps pushing in, the one who carries the kitchen emotionally often begins to carry too much alone. This doesn't mean you have to remove all water from the kitchen. Of course not. Water is essential, but it does mean becoming intentional about placement. Ask yourself, is the water stored thoughtfully or just for convenience? Does it crowd the stove? Is it placed above the fridge because it's just easy? Or could it be stored nearby, separated by something neutral like wood, stone, or ceramic? Even something as simple as placing a wooden board between a water jug and a heating surface can shift the energy. It doesn't take a full redesign. Just a pause, a choice, a bit more care. And if space is tight, if your only option is to keep water nearby, create boundaries. Use a tray, choose closed containers. Add something grounding nearby, a plant, a clay dish, a natural fiber mat. Small things that say this is placed with purpose. That message matters, because homes don't just respond to what you put in them, they respond to how you place it. Sometimes we forget that energy isn't about what's visible, it's about what you feel when you walk into a room and say, something's changed, but I don't know why. That's how fire energy speaks, through presence, through warmth, through the moments that linger long after the meal is done. Don't let water, however useful, drown that quiet voice. Tonight, when you walk into your kitchen, stand still for a moment. Listen, not with your ears, but with your breath. Is there warmth in the air or just function? Are the corners of the room holding light or tension? And what's sitting above the fridge, beside the stove, near the fire? Fire doesn't ask for much, just room to glow. Let it. And you might find the heart of your home glowing again too. Part 4. Remove these quiet triggers. Number 1. Stagnant water and old bottles. There's something almost invisible that many homes hold onto. It sits quietly in corners, in kitchen cabinets, on nightstands, tucked behind the TV or under the bed. It doesn't make noise. It doesn't draw attention. But it changes the feeling of the room slowly and subtly, until one day you realize the air feels heavier, the space less alive. I'm talking about old water. Bottles you meant to finish but never did. Glasses left half full overnight. Jugs opened days ago that no one touches. They're easy to ignore, but energy never does. We live in a culture that prizes hydration, that encourages us to carry water wherever we go, and that's good. But what we rarely think about is what happens when that water goes still, when it sits for days, forgotten. that water doesn't just lose its freshness, it loses its vitality. And in the world of energy, anything that stops moving begins to hold on to what it shouldn't. Water is life, but only when it moves, when it's clear, when it's renewed. Left standing, it turns, not visibly at first, but energetically it becomes dense. What was once light becomes murky. That's not metaphor. It's what your body senses when you walk into a room and feel off without knowing why. It's the subtle reaction you have to a dusty bottle on a shelf or the stale smell that lingers in the kitchen, even after you've cleaned. You might not think much of it. One bottle isn't a problem. But here's the truth: energy compounds. One bottle becomes 3. A few forgotten sips become a shelf of half-used jugs, and over time your home starts to feel like it's holding on to something. Not just water, but inertia, emotion, conversations unfinished, decisions postponed. That energy doesn't stay in the bottle, it spreads, it weighs. Some clients tell me they feel tired when they walk through the door. Not because the house is messy, but because it feels thick, flat. I don't know why, they say. I've decluttered, I've cleaned, but something still feels stuck. So I ask gently, when was the last time you checked your water? Check the bottles in the fridge, the one in your car, the one by the bed. Is it still fresh? Or is it just sitting, waiting, reflecting the same pause you've been feeling inside? In energetic terms, stagnant water acts like a sponge. It doesn't just sit, it absorbs. It pulls in the emotional temperature of the room. It holds the mood you were in when you left it there. A glass of water placed after a long argument doesn't just stay neutral. It holds a vibration. And the longer it sits, the more that vibration thickens. In physical terms, stale water breeds bacteria, that's science. But energetically, it breeds heaviness. That heaviness shows up in your thoughts, your sleep, your mood. And you begin to wonder, why can't I think clearly? Why do I feel slow, anxious, overwhelmed? Often, the answer starts with the simplest detail. The water around you is no longer alive. And this applies to more than just bottles. Think of flower vases where the water hasn't been changed. Think of pet bowls that aren't refreshed daily. Think of decorative fountains that haven't been cleaned in months. All of these create an energetic loop where life tries to flow but keeps bumping into what's old, stale, forgotten. So what can you do? The solution is simple, but powerful. Walk through your home today and notice every container that holds water. Every single one. Ask yourself, when was this last emptied? Is it still serving a purpose, or is it quietly collecting energy I no longer need? Pour out the old, rinse the vessel. Let water be water again, moving, fresh, alive. Not every act of clearing needs to be symbolic, but this one often is. Pouring out stale water is like pressing reset on the room, on your body, on the conversation between your space and your spirit. Keep your drinking water clean and sealed. Use glass or stainless steel if you can. Avoid plastic bottles left in warm rooms, and if you use water as part of your decor, like a fountain or vase, treat it like a living thing. Change it, clean it, renew it. Don't let it become a holding tank for everything you're too busy to feel. Because when you change how water lives in your home, you change how energy flows through your day. The air feels clearer, you breathe deeper, thoughts settle, and that nagging feeling that something isn't quite right starts to soften, then fade. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about caring enough to notice what you've stopped seeing. A bottle that's been there too long, a glass that's no longer fresh. These aren't just objects, they're quiet reflections of where energy got paused in your life. Let them go, and life starts moving again. Tonight before bed, take one small step. Pour out the old water, rinse the cup. Place it back clean or let the surface stay empty. Then see how you feel in the morning. You might be surprised. Sometimes the difference between restlessness and ease is just a few ounces of still water that no longer needed to be there. Let water return to what it's meant to be, a carrier, not a keeper. A flow, not a blockage. Life, not weight. Your home will thank you, and more importantly, so will you. Number 2, leftover food and wet trash. There's a smell in every home that tells a story. Sometimes it's warm, coffee brewing, toast crisping, garlic on the stove. Sometimes it's fresh, lemon cleaner, laundry just folded. And sometimes it's something else. Subtle, sour, not strong, but sharp enough to unsettle. A smell that lingers in the corner of the kitchen under the sink near the trash can. You know it when you catch it. It makes you wrinkle your nose and say, "I'll take that out in a minute." But you don't, not right away, and slowly that minute turns into a pattern. In most homes, the buildup of leftover food and wet trash doesn't start with neglect, it starts with habit. A busy night, a half-finished meal, coffee grounds in the sink, a to-go container you meant to rinse but didn't. It sits overnight, then another one joins it, and before you know it, the energy of your kitchen has shifted. Not dramatically, but enough that it no longer feels clean, even when it looks tidy. Food is energy. When it's fresh, it nourishes. When it's decaying, it drains. That's not a belief, it's a reality you can feel. Spoiled food sends out a silent message. Something is being ignored here. Something is losing its life and staying anyway. And whether we realize it or not, that message begins to fill the space. It's in the air, in the emotional tone of the home, in the tension that sneaks into conversations, sluggishness you feel in the morning, the irritability that shows up around dinner time. None of it screams trash, but all of it whispers stagnation. Especially at night, that's when things settle. That's when the home goes quiet and the energy of the day either clears or clings. And when wet trash is left out overnight, it doesn't just sit there, it absorbs, it multiplies, mold begins, bacteria grows, the air thickens. You might not smell it anymore, but your body still senses it. Your nervous system still responds. You sleep, but you don't fully rest. You wake up feeling like something's off before your feet even touch the floor. In feng shui terms, or simply in energetic terms, food that's no longer alive begins to act as a block. It holds weight, not just physically, but emotionally. That apple core in the bin, the coffee filter you meant to throw out, the half-empty sauce container, they don't seem like much, but every one of them is a pause point for energy. A place where motion stops and weight begins to gather. We often think that throwing away trash is just a chore, but it's also a clearing, a release. And when we delay that process, when we let old food sit through the night, we don't just leave behind scraps. We leave behind energy that has nowhere to go. It circles, it stalls, it dulls the edges of what should feel fresh. This is especially important in the kitchen, the heart of the home, the place where fire lives, where health begins. When wet trash collects in this space, it acts like a sponge for every emotion you didn't know you were holding. Frustration, overwhelm, tiredness. These don't come from food waste alone, but food waste gives them a place to land. And here's the most overlooked truth. Most of us don't even realize how much it affects us because we normalize it. Everyone has trash. It's fine, I'll take it out in the morning. It's just one night. And yes, everyone does have trash. That's not the problem. The problem is leaving it in the wrong place at the wrong time and pretending it has no cost. You may notice the clues. Headaches that come on around dinner. A low-level sense of tension in the kitchen. Discomfort when walking past the sink. Even impatience during meals. These aren't random. They're often symptoms of energy that's stuck, sour, or being quietly disturbed. But the good news is this is one of the easiest things to fix. It costs nothing. It takes minutes. And the change is almost immediate. Start small. Empty wet trash before you go to bed, especially in summer or in humid weather. Don't let organic waste sit through the night. Clean your sink. Rinse food containers. Use a bin with a lid and, if possible, store it in a ventilated area not pressed against your main kitchen zone. And if it's not trash night, collect wet waste in a sealed bag or small bin and take it out first thing in the morning. Not later. First thing, make it part of your rhythm. You'll notice something strange happen within days. The kitchen smells lighter. The air feels brighter. You breathe easier. You wake up without that dull weight in your chest. And maybe, just maybe, your family starts to feel different too. More ease, less friction. A kitchen that feels like it holds life again instead of holding on to what's no longer needed. Because this isn't just about food. It's about what you allow to remain in your space after its purpose is done. It's about what you're willing to let go of when it's no longer alive, no longer useful, no longer helping you move forward. Energy doesn't care if your countertops are spotless if there's a smell under the sink that hasn't moved in days. It doesn't care if your home is decorated beautifully if the trash in the corner is full of what you didn't want to face. It only responds to presence, to care, to attention. So tonight, look at what you've left behind, not with judgment, but with curiosity. What are you holding onto that's already expired? What's sitting quietly in the bin, pulling the mood of your home down one breath at a time? Let it go, not tomorrow, tonight, and see what starts to rise in its place. Number 3, cracked mirrors and chipped cups. There's something about a cracked mirror that draws the eye. You don't mean to stare at it, but you do. A line across the glass, a distortion in the reflection, a fracture that splits the space into pieces. It's not loud, it doesn't make noise, but it changes how you see everything. Not just what's in the mirror, but how it feels to stand in front of it. Something's off, and your body knows. Now think of a chipped mug, the one you still use because it's familiar. Maybe it came from a trip or someone you love. Maybe it just fits your hand right, but every time you drink from it, you're also adjusting your grip, not too close to the edge. You're working around the damage. Without realizing it, you've accepted a tiny inconvenience and turned it into normal. These things may seem small, cosmetic, not urgent, but when it comes to energy, especially in your home, what's broken but still held onto becomes more than clutter. It becomes a message, not just to the space, but to yourself. A cracked mirror doesn't just reflect your face, it reflects fragmentation, a sense that wholeness has been compromised, that beauty now comes with a flaw you've learned to ignore. And the more time you spend in front of that mirror, the more that message seeps into your energy. It's not dramatic, but it's constant. Subtle distortions change how we see ourselves and eventually how we carry ourselves. Your reflection isn't just a physical image, it's an emotional echo, and if the surface is fractured, your energy may start to feel fractured too. Now multiply that effect. A chipped bowl in the kitchen, a cracked plate, a glass with a rim that's just slightly sharp. These aren't dangerous, but they interrupt flow of use, flow of energy, flow of presence. Every time you use them, your mind adjusts. Be careful, that's the one with the chip. And even if you don't say it aloud, you feel it, that hesitation, that moment of this isn't quite right. Over time, that becomes the undercurrent of your space. We tell ourselves these things don't matter. It still works. It's just a small chip. I'll replace it eventually. But energy doesn't wait for eventually. It reacts to what is, to what's in the room now, to what you've chosen to keep in circulation, even if it's cracked. And here's where it runs deeper. When we hold onto broken items, we often do so because we're holding onto something else. Sentiment, memory, guilt. It's still good. It's still useful. But usefulness isn't the same as health. Not everything that functions is fit to keep. Sometimes we mistake emotional attachment for energetic permission, but just because something once mattered doesn't mean it still belongs. There's a quiet weight that comes from filling your home with objects that are slightly damaged. It creates an environment of almost right, almost whole, almost peaceful. And after enough time, you start to mirror that feeling. You adapt to the imperfections instead of asking if they still serve you. You overlook what no longer uplifts you. You tolerate what subtly drains you, not just in objects, but in yourself. And that's why cracked mirrors and chipped cups are not just things. They are energetic signals. They shape your everyday experience. How you see, how you eat, how you feel about your environment. A home that holds brokenness without care begins to echo that brokenness in quiet, persistent ways. Mood, focus, clarity, connection, they all feel a little harder, a little less free. So what can you do? First, look clearly. Take a walk through your home, not to clean, not to judge, but to notice. Which mirrors are cracked, which dishes are chipped, which objects have been broken and then kept out of habit, not choice. Then ask gently, what does this reflect back to me? If it's something meaningful, a frame from your childhood, a plate from your grandmother, can it be repaired with love? Framed, honored, turned into something else? Or is it time to let it go, to thank it for what it gave and release it before it starts giving back something heavier? Because what's broken can sometimes still be beautiful, but only when it's seen, acknowledged, and either transformed or released. Not hidden, not ignored. And when it comes to mirrors, be mindful of where they sit. A mirror reflects not just you, but the room. If it's broken, even subtly, it changes the feel of the space it reflects. It fragments light. It bends in tension. Replace it if you can, or move it somewhere neutral, out of your line of sight, out of your everyday experience. And with cups, plates, bowls, be honest. Are you using them because they serve you, or because you've grown used to the compromise? That compromise doesn't just live in your kitchen. It lives in your mindset. And letting go of a chipped mug might be the first step toward letting go of other things that no longer feel whole. The goal isn't perfection. It's alignment. It's creating a home that feels like it's fully holding you, not holding you back. A space where what surrounds you reflects the care you want to give yourself. And sometimes that starts with a single broken thing you're finally ready to release. So tonight, take a moment, open the cabinet, look in the mirror. Ask, what here no longer reflects who I am or how I want to feel? Let go gently and let the wholeness return. Number 4, dead plants and dusty fake flowers. There's a corner in many homes where something used to grow. A windowsill that once held a basil plant, a side table that cradled a pot of ivy, a shelf adorned with artificial blooms once bright, now dulled by dust and time. We place these things with love, with hope, with an intention to bring life indoors. But over time, they change. And when we stop noticing, they stop giving and start quietly taking up space that no longer feels alive. Plants are one of the most beautiful ways we invite energy into our homes. They don't just clean the air, they signal care. They bring softness to structure, breath to stillness. But like anything living, they need attention. And when a plant begins to die, or worse, has already died and been left in place, it shifts. It no longer emits vitality. It begins to hold the energy of decay. Most people don't mean to keep dead plants. We tell ourselves they might bounce back. We water them once more just in case. Or we forget entirely, walk past the shriveled leaves so many times that they become part of the background. But even if our eyes stop seeing them, our bodies don't. They register the lifelessness, the stuckness, the low vibration that settles around what's no longer thriving. And we feel it, subtly but surely, in our own energy. Dead plants are more than dry leaves. They are symbols of a cycle that wasn't completed, of growth that stalled, of intention that never became reality. And when we leave them in our space, we anchor ourselves to that incompletion. We say, without words, this is something I couldn't revive, but I haven't let go. That weight, that pause, becomes part of the room. It shifts the feeling. What was meant to be light becomes heavy. What was meant to bring joy becomes a quiet reminder of what's been lost or left behind. And it's not just live plants. Artificial flowers, too, carry energy. Not the same as living things, but energy nonetheless. When they're fresh, clean, and cared for, they serve as neutral, sometimes even uplifting decor. But when they gather dust, fade in color, or slump from neglect, they begin to carry a very different message. They stop being decorative. They become stagnant, a physical reflection of something that was once bright, but has since gone unnoticed. Dust, in energetic terms, is more than a sign of a dirty surface. It's a layer of inertia, a signal that something hasn't moved in a while. That time has passed and nothing's changed. Dust on fake flowers is like a timestamp on joy that's no longer present. It tells your nervous system, this corner is asleep. And when you fill your home with too many of those corners, the whole space begins to feel drowsy, even if it's clean. You might not feel it all at once, but you'll notice it in your mood, in your motivation, in your sense of clarity when you walk from room to room. You'll feel it in the afternoons when everything feels heavier than it should. Or in the moments when you look around and think, why does this space feel flat even though everything's in place? That's the whisper of energy that's stuck. So how do we shift it? First, with honesty, walk through your home and take stock of every plant, real or fake. Ask yourself, truly, is this alive? Is this loved? Is this tended to? Or has it been forgotten? If a live plant is clearly beyond saving, let it go. Don't make its presence a symbol of failure. Release it with gratitude for what it once brought, for what it tried to do. Every dead plant you let go of makes space for new life, not just physically, but emotionally. It says, I am ready to refresh. I am not holding on to what's already gone. If a plant still has life in it but is struggling, make a decision. Will you care for it? Will you move it into better light, change the soil, trim the dead leaves, give it another chance with intention? If yes, do it today, not someday. If not, set it free. And for artificial flowers, dust them or replace them. If they no longer bring beauty, they are no longer serving you. Don't hold on to them just because they were expensive or because they used to make you happy. Energy doesn't respond to price tags, it responds to presence, to vibrancy, to how something feels now. Invest in fewer, better pieces. Keep them clean. Rotate them. Let them be reminders of care, not artifacts of what used to be. And most importantly, let your space breathe. Leave some surfaces bare. Every corner doesn't need a vase or a bouquet. Sometimes the most powerful message your home can offer is this: I have room for what's alive. Because that's what this is all really about: aliveness, movement, renewal. Your home is a mirror. If it's filled with things that no longer breathe, that no longer bloom, that no longer bring joy or softness, then you will begin to feel the same. Not all at once, but day by day, season by season, you'll start to live in spaces that no longer reflect who you are or who you're becoming. Letting go of dead plants and dusty flowers isn't dramatic. It doesn't require a big decision, just a quiet one. A soft clearing of what's no longer part of the current moment. And in its place, you make room for freshness, for movement, for the next version of joy. So tonight, take one plant, just one. Look at it. Ask yourself, is this alive? And am I? If not, let both of you be free. Sometimes the things that weigh us down don't make noise. They don't slam doors or dim the lights. They just sit quietly. A bowl of stale water on the nightstand, a forgotten mop under the stairs, a bottle near the stove, a broken cup in the cabinet, a plant that stopped growing weeks ago. They're not loud, but their silence speaks. What we walked through together in this video wasn't about superstition. It wasn't about fear. It was about noticing deeply, gently, how the smallest things in our home carry energy, and how that energy carries us. Because your home is more than a place. It's an extension of your nervous system, of your rest, of your joy, and the way you care for it echoes in the way it cares for you. This isn't about perfection. It's not about having a spotless house or getting rid of everything with a chip or speck of dust. It's about presence, awareness, the quiet power of asking, does this still feel alive? Does this still support the life I'm trying to build? And when the answer is no, letting go isn't a loss, it's a clearing. A space made sacred again, a corner made soft again, a breath allowed to move again. So if something in today's message spoke to you, not loudly but clearly, I hope you listened to it. Not for me, not for a rule, but for yourself. Because energy doesn't change all at once. It shifts when you do. When you clear one shelf, one drawer, one habit. When you pour out the water that's been sitting too long. When you say goodbye to the plant that never came back. When you remove what's cracked so you can make space for what's whole. I want to thank you for spending your time, your heart, and your attention here with me. I know you have many places you could be. And the fact that you chose this moment to be still, to listen, to reflect, says something beautiful about the kind of home you're creating and the kind of energy you're ready to invite in. So from my heart to yours, I wish you ease, I wish you clarity, and I wish you a home that breathes freely, gently, and fully, just like you deserve. Thank you for being here. I'll see you in the next one. Until then, let light in.